Welcome back to Space Engineers Episode 4. Today, see. Well, today we're going to work on expanding this and converting this into a rover of some sort. Now, to tell the truth, this is probably the fourth time I have tried to start this episode. Earlier, I had realized I'd messed this up and forgot to put an advanced rotor on it, so it wouldn't work properly. And then I spent about
Inventory
8 minutes being frustrated with my mouse because it wouldn't work. Uh, needless to say, I was having a bit of a rough go at this. So hopefully, the fourth or fifth time is a
Inventory
charm
full.
here, and we'll be able to get something done. Now, this hole over here, with my original mining rig, provided me with a fair amount of resources, but in order to really progress, I'm going to need even more than that. Sorry about the mouse. I'm trying to get the sensitivity dialed in properly for what I need to do. But
Inventory full.
so I'm going to put in an expanded drill and hope that it gets me enough resources to last me for quite some time here.
Inventory full.
I'm just cleaning up my mess from taking apart my previous drills. Yeah. So anyway, this shouldn't take too long to get set up. I know. Proper. There we go. So what I'm going to need here is an advanced rotor. Let's get all the parts I need out of there. Oh, don't want to use stuff for it. Alright, I'm having a heck of a time, guys. Let's try. Did I? Did I not just request that stuff? Okay, let's try that again. Wow. I am just having an off day. Right. So anyway, originally I had expanded this off camera so you guys didn't have to sit through and watch that. But I forgot to put that advanced rotor on there, and without it, it kind of doesn't work. All right, that's finished. Finished. Yeah, that's not. That would have caused a problem, which is probably why I had all that in the or hole down there, uh, for what you saw me picking up. Wow, that sentence made a whole lot of sense, didn't it? Let's try that again. I didn't have that block complete, so when I took the drills apart, it dropped a whole bunch of stone because it didn't have anywhere to go. Now, speaking of drills, let's get out a couple and install these bad boys. Now, I'm thinking 5 across in total should do the job nicely. And that's where I had it originally. Alright, I just gotta fill these bad boys up. We'll be drilling in no time. Alright, I'm gonna need a little more stuff. Now, I think my idea for converting this into a rover is going to be pretty minimal at first. And I'm just going to slap some wheels on it so we can drive around. and probably use it to transport our stuff from here to our new base location once we finally choose that. I'm thinking that if you guys don't mind, I'll do a lot of the more tedious stuff off camera and then show you some of the more interesting stuff that I'm doing. But, you know, if you guys decide that you want to see a more raw look at what I'm doing here, like, I will definitely just record everything and show it to you. Now, speaking of things being done offline, I did expand this a little bit, and this is to help once this is set up as a rover. I can park it here, and then I'm going to use a similar system to this to make a lift for it so I can pick it up and properly fix it. And let me see. I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, yeah. It's going to be kind of like a little garage for this thing, but, you know, not closed, but just think of it as a vehicle lift. Yep. I think we're ready to get this thing started. Right. Get this configured properly. First, we're going to turn on our drills again. Right. Pistons, we're going to set this one to first here. Oh. I want to set the advanced rotor first. Okay. Velocity. I think that's good. Okay, see, it's struggling a little bit, but once it clears that initial section there, it should be a little better because it didn't have a lot of room to work with. But once that clears, I'll set the piston to descend a little quicker. But as you can tell, it's having a little bit of trouble with that. And if I increase the speed, I don't want it to snap off. And if I decrease the speed, it's not going to be effective enough. All right. I'm going to cut here. And I will come back to you in just a minute. All right. I am back. Now, I just had to go take care of something real quick. No big deal. And now, why is this thing all twitchy? Let's see if I can get that stabilized. I'll see what I can do. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's see, shared inertial tensor. Shared inertial tensor. And this one's not shared inertial tensor. Okay, it feels a little more stable. I think I need to increase the speed of that rotation. See, the problem with these particular kinds of drilling platforms is that you gotta find the exact rotational speed that works best for you and for the size of your drill head. And I think 2.5 is about where it needs to be. Now for piston number 1 here, we're gonna go at 0.1, and I think that'll work fine. All right. That looks like it's doing well. We'll come back and check on that in a minute. Now, what do I need for making this a, darn mouse. Yeah, I've been having a lot of mouse troubles. Anyway, we need to convert this into a basic rover, and that's not too hard. We're gonna need, I think for this, a few armor blocks. A few of those, okay. Now we're gonna need some wheels. Now, do I have the stuff I need to make?
Meteor storm inbound.
Let's see. Of course I don't. I need to grind down and build up landing gear. Now, an easy trick to get this one out of the way is come over to your drop pod, get up under here, grind it down a little bit, and then weld that sucker right back up. And now you have all the stuff you need for making wheels. All right. Wheel suspension. Alright, we're gonna put this down here. Now, what we're gonna need to do is grind out this section here on both sides. This is where we're gonna use some flat armor blocks to extend out the section. Now what we're going to need to do is put one down like that. So I have 3 out, 1 down. And the reason we're doing this is because the bottom of this thing is so bulky, it's hard to get the wheels to clear. Alright, so number 9. See, that's going to be the right side from that angle. How this will work here? You gotta rotate this properly. Slap that bad boy on. Alright, so this is where we're gonna run into a problem. Grind this out, and then we're gonna take our drill, kneel down, and we're gonna have to remove some material here, but not too much. Otherwise, we can't get the thing out of the hole. See? Now, we got that in there. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Now we're going to have to do the same thing on the other side. If I can get over here. Crouching. Since we know the ground is going to obscure us, we're going to have to dig out an area real quick. Now these wheels should be big enough to get us out of here. Now, you got to make sure that you set the 3x3 left and right on the correct side. So now we're here at 3x3 left, and make sure you place them where. Darn it, I can't even press the right keys. The proper suspension bits are where they're supposed to be. I think that's yeah, just make sure they match. And apparently it wasn't big. There wasn't enough room here to put that wheel casing down, and I accidentally ground off my little peg here. Don't worry, we'll fix that up and make it as nice as we can. Let's get this dug out a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, making this episode, I have been having a challenge. Either I'm out of practice or something, but I've been having a rough time getting this one made. But, you know, I think every YouTuber at their very beginning has some growing pains. And, yeah, this is not easy. I mean, sure, it's not terribly complicated, but, I mean, there's some definite skills that need mastering. Alright. But, excuse me. Looks like I need to take out that section right there. And we want to kind of emulate what we did there on the other side. Kind of make it even with the back and the front here. I mean, I suppose you could make it uneven, but I think it works better if you just try and match everything up. Yeah, let's try and get this wheel on properly. Alright, that one worked. Now remember, I gotta switch this one over to the right version. 2, 3 right. And darn. Darn it. I mean, once you're all set up in a nice base and everything, it's a lot easier to do this because you can set up a dedicated area that just works for the function. Now, let's see what I need for these things. I need steel tubes, plates, and construction components. What does this need? Small steel tubes, plates, and construction components. Alright, this shouldn't be difficult to whip up. Heck, we probably have everything. Small steel tubes, large steel tubes, and construction components. Sorry about that. I'm telling you, this mouse is twitchy today. So let's get this on already fixed up. Come on now. Not what I was looking for. Oh, almost had it. Come on now. Come on. Oh, now I need motors. Okay. That's no problem. I have the stuff for motors. Hell, I have motors. There we go. Now, we'll want to build up some of these supports here. Helps make them a little stronger. Looks nicer too. Excuse me. Now, this thing isn't rechargeable as of yet, but being a rover, it doesn't use a whole lot of power. Which is the nice thing, well, pretty much your main reason for wanting to use a rover is because you don't have to worry so much about the power requirements to move this thing around. Now this is pretty much a quick, ugly, and dirty rover here, but I mean, it's a recycled pod. It's not going to be the greatest thing. Now, one other thing is to get under here. Sometimes to get into a tight corner, what you want to do is turn your jetpack on and just fly up under it. Alright, now, these aren't the best made pods, so parts can, you know, fall apart. I think eventually I'm probably going to snag that hydrogen thruster off the bottom of it and use that in something else, but For now, I think this will do. Let's get a little recharge going on here. Now, one other thing that I'm gonna need is a cockpit. But before I can install that, I have to remove this chair from here. Now let's see if there's anything in it. Okay, it's all been cleaned out. All right. Yeah, these pods are super simple. As you can see, I do not have the DLC pack. Maybe one of these days I will, but at the moment I do not. Oh, that's enough. That should be enough. It's probably missing something like displays. Ooh, slow her down. I put this in wrong. Okay, let's get that out of there. Alright. There we go. That's how I want this thing. Okay, it looks like the only thing I'm really missing is the 2 displays. Nice. Now let's see what we got going on here. What do you mean not enough power? You have plenty of power. Oh, okay, yeah. This thing is chewing through everything I have. Wow, 24,000 iron. Nice. But I'm going to turn you off for a moment so I can get this finished. Get my displays.
Fuel low.
Oh no, not my fuel. Yeah, I need that.
Fuel critical.
Get my hydrogen bottle refilled. And another nice thing about getting this thing ready to go is I can slap some cargo containers on it and go mining somewhere and not have to worry about jetpacking everything back to the base. Alright, doing this ought to make it a little easier for it to get out. There we go. Whoa. Little guy's frisky. Kind of reminds me of a crab of some sort. But boy, I think I need to turn down the power on these wheels. Okay, what the heck? Wow. Apparently, does this thing have parking brakes? There we go. Now, let's get in here and see what I can do about the way this works. Alright, let's turn down the power a little bit here. Okay, so it's a little less crazy now. See, what I'm thinking about doing... Don't you go nowhere. Alright. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing is taking this little pylon, moving it further forward, and this one here a little further backwards to help improve stability. But in the meantime, this little guy, who looks like a nice little crab, will do the job I need it to do. And that is to get over here so I can jack that bitch up. I'm gonna turn these drills. Oh, these drills still on. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is turn on the refinery again and check it out. I'm gonna start that drill cycle up again. One. You gotta be careful of these things. They default to 0.5, and that is way too fast. Let's get this thing going again. Gonna make a pretty hefty hole and get us a good amount of materials. As you can see, we're just flowing in with this stuff. All right. With this little guy completed, I think I'm gonna call it an episode. All right. We're going to call it here, and if you liked the video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And again, I apologize for some of the technical difficulties I've been having with this episode. It has been hard. I'll give it that, and thank you guys for sticking with me. Have a good night.